Keep your screen on. Hello, people. Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk. I'm your host, Nathan, and today I've got Tom with me today. We're very short today, so we'll kick things off and get on with it. Welcome to the show, Tom.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How's it going over there?
Fine, yeah. I see you're in a nice beach.
Well, over here in California, it's been 100 today in Los Angeles, and I'm going to go out, to the beach. Actually, I'm going to go out to my pool after we're done and take a nice swim in the nighttime cool air. But my pool is very heated. I have a solar blanket on it, so it's probably around 90 degrees.
Right. Michael Hunter has left Matchroom.
Oh, well, I think it was a good move for him, don't you?
No, because I just think I don't see where else he's going to get the big opportunity. He had so many big fights that could have been made at that place, at Matchroom.
But I think he's going to land over at Premier.
Do you think it was getting a bit crowded, wasn't it, in the Matchroom?
I think so, and also, he didn't have. I don't think he was going to be, based upon his last performance with Povetkin, and it was a draw, but he did very well. I thought he won.
Same.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people are going to want to fight him. Who's he going to fight? Yeah, he's too dangerous, and I think he'll do better at Premier. He'll get better matches. And
I think he's good enough to upset somebody in the top four. That's how good I think he is. And
yes.
But Eddie Hearn's not going to admit that, is he? Live on national TV,
Well, Eddie Hearn has to protect his cash cow.
I actually think that he would beat Dillian Whyte. I think he's good enough to beat Dillian Whyte, Michael.
Well, if he didn't get caught, I would say the same thing.
Problem is, he has more skill than Dillian Whyte, and he can move around the ring a hell of a lot better. And he's got a better gas tank.
Right. He moves well. He punches well. And I'm sure he keeps training and moving up. He's going to be something to consider, someone to legitimately consider in the top 5, very soon.
Problem with him is he's not a heavyweight. So he's the same problem David Haye had. He's just not big enough to compete with the top guys, like the Joshuas.
Well, that's where the money is. Even if he doesn't win, he's going to make good money.
I always figured that if he'd stayed at cruiserweight, he would have won a world title if he'd stayed there.
I would agree with that, except he's not going to make the same amount of money.
I would have loved to have seen him do it the proper way, win a world title, then the same as Usyk did. But obviously, he had no choice. He had to go where the money was. He's taken so many risky fights. Like that Povetkin fight, I thought if that had pulled off, Matchroom would have wanted him to stay.
I agree.
And it's like that's derailed his career a little bit, and it shouldn't be this way.
Yeah.
Okay. In other news, Carlos Takam is replacing Jarrell Miller this Friday. So he'll be fighting Jerry Forrest.
That's correct. And I think Forrest may win this one.
I'm not so sure.
Carlos has been fighting more recently. This is his 4th fight within a year?
Yeah. I think Carlos will get the win, the late stoppage. Jerry Forrest is a good journeyman.
Jerry Forrest, I think, is a better boxer and moves better. And he'll give Carlos some trouble because of his movement. Carlos is good with guys who could stand in front of him. Yeah. Not so many guys that will move as well as he does. Also, Carlos is very muscular. I mean, he's got huge arms and, big muscles, and he tends to tire a little bit as the fight goes on. So I think, look, you can never count a guy out like Takam out because of his punching power. But I don't know. I think it's going to be close. I think that Forrest will win by a decision. Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Okay. In other news, the WBC have ordered Luke Campbell against Ryan Garcia for the WBC interim lightweight title. I like this fight. According to Eddie Hearn, this is obviously the winner would become the mandatory challenger for Devin Haney.
Yes, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he's going to go down to 130 and and fight that fighter from Ghana with the WBO. That's a less dangerous fight for him, and he's being protected right now. He's very good, and he could very easily go to lightweight with his frame. And he's a good puncher. He has a good left hook. But the guys he's been fighting at 130 are smaller, so it's easier for him. And he's being groomed by Oscar De La Hoya. He's kind of being brought along the same way like Canelo is, the same way he's been handling Canelo. And I don't, that Luke Campbell fight is a riskier fight for him. So I don't think, the other guy from Ghana, I forgot his name, is a slower fighter. He throws combinations, but he's slower. And I think that Garcia can get to him and have a nice knockout, stay at 130, and not worry about moving up anywhere to fight anybody like Lomachenko or Devin Haney. And also he's down there, with Tank. He could get a good fight with Tank if they could make that match. That's another dangerous match for him. But he has the size on Tank. And he's also a good puncher. But I don't think he's ready for anybody like Lomachenko or even Haney. So I think he's going to go with the one at the WBO and fight the fighter from Ghana.
Definitely. Let's see. Billy Joe Saunders confirms the Canelo Alvarez fight is off. He's more interested in Demetrius Andrade instead. I think he's making a big mistake.
Well, in my opinion, don't get me wrong, Billy Joel is an excellent boxer. He can fight, but keeps shooting himself in the foot. To say that he doesn't have enough time, what are you doing? When you're up there, he knew about the fight for a while now. And now he's using the excuse he doesn't have enough time to train. Well, what has he been doing? He should have been keeping himself in condition all this time. And he's talking about the money and he's not getting enough money. And that's true. That's why Golden Boy is playing him. But if he really had the confidence that he could take Canelo and win that fight, don't you think he'd be in as best shape as he could? And just, by now the fight's 2 months away. He should have been training before this time, just like Canelo's been, and being ready for this fight. And to say he wants more money, if you really feel you could beat the guy and you beat him, you're going to make a lot more money in the rematch. So, yeah, Golden Boy pulls that kind of stuff. They look for every advantage possible. But he's running out of time. How many big fights are on the horizon for him? He's not going to make the same money with Andrade. He's just not going to be able to. So,
he's been very lucky in his career with the titles he's won, with the people he's fought against. I think he's wasted his career. I have to be honest. He's burning up his prime years, and he'll never get them back. The drug taking, this and that, that's how he lost his other title when he was at middleweight. Right. He got stripped of it,
So what reason is he not wanting to fight Canelo? This would be the biggest fight and exposure of his career. So how much were they offering? $4 million to him or something like that?
Yeah, which is sufficient money for him.
Yeah. So, if you think you could take the guy, then go for it. I think it's a matter of confidence. I don't think he really feels he could beat Canelo. And that's why he's not doing it. So that's my opinion. If I had the opportunity and if I was in his position, I would take the money and I would have been in training now the past few months. Maybe he was juicing and now he doesn't feel, in 2 months, he's going to be able to be clean enough to be tested. Yeah. So whatever his reasons are, I think it's not the first time he's avoided somebody like this, is it?
No.
Yeah. Didn't he avoid GGG at middleweight for this as well?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So what is he going to prove? What is he proving? That he doesn't want to fight the top guys because he can't beat them.
But we know that when he fought on the Logan undercard, he looked dreadful. He barely won that fight. He looked dreadful.
Okay. So there you go. So look, he's going to fade into obscurity if he doesn't take a good fight. because he's at that point. He's a champion, a former champion, and he should be fighting the top guys. And whatever, doesn't really feel he could win in my opinion. Just like Jarrell Miller, same thing.
Yeah.
Are you taking a call right now, Nathan?
408.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll wait.
I'm off the call now.
Okay, you want to talk about Loma versus Lopez now?
Yeah, I think it's a great fight.
I do too. I think Loma has a lot more movement for him, but Lopez packs a lot of power. So Loma is going to have to really be on the move in this one, don't you think?
Oh, definitely, yeah. I think Loma will definitely win.
Uh-huh.
I think Lopez doesn't have the experience to beat someone of that magnitude. Yeah.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting. And Loma's been off for a long time now. He's had some injuries, right? So this should be good for him, that he's been able to heal his body. He should look better at this point. And,
look, Lopez is still green. People seem to forget that he hasn't got the experience that Loma's got, and Loma hasn't been a pro that long. Yeah.
That's true. That's true. But it's the classic boxer versus puncher. And a puncher always has a chance when he punches as hard as this guy punches.
But the angles that Lomachenko throws punches at, he'll overwhelm him. Like we've seen it so many times, him dancing around the ring, overwhelming people.
Right.
And we're talking, yeah.
No, well, it discourages people is what it does. But anyway, continue. I'm sorry.
But look at the way he handled Luke Campbell. Luke Campbell is a 6 foot, massive lightweight. He made him look like nothing. He was dancing around him, throwing punches at him. He controlled him pretty well. And Luke Campbell was very strong at the weight,
Right. Yeah. Well, we'll see. It'll be exciting. I like Lopez a lot. But you're right. He's not in that same class of, like a Terminator, like Lomachenko is in terms of his boxing IQ.
Lomachenko is a modern Pacquiao. Oh, that's how I like him, Tim.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way, but he is. And that would be a great fight for the two of them, but I don't think he could ever get up to 147.
No, but then again, a lot of people didn't think Manny Pacquiao could get it to like middleweight, Stranger things have happened. Like when Pacquiao beat Oscar La Hoya, it's the same situation as that. Right. Strange things can happen.
Yeah. Oscar De La Hoya is talking about making a comeback. Maybe he'll fight Pacquiao.
For God's sake. He needs to stay away. He's put on too much weight anyway.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Right. The WBO have ordered Ryan Garcia against Emmanuel Togo, a final eliminator.
Right, that's what we were talking about right there. Tago as being the guy that they'll probably take instead of Campbell. That's an easier fight for him, and he could look better in that fight.
Yeah.
So that, Golden Boy is doing what they do, making Garcia look golden.
Yeah.
They're very good at marinating these fights and choosing the right opponents for their guys.
Yeah, it's a great fight. I mean, again, Ryan Garcia is as green as grass.
Yes, he's looked good, very, very good in his past few fights, but this guy has got experience, but the guys that he's been beating have been very old fighters recently. One was like 39 and the other one was like 36. And he's not that fast. He's good, but he's not that fast. And I don't think he has the strength of Garcia. So it's a better way to go for him versus Luke Campbell. This will be the way I'm sure they'll go.
Definitely. See what is next.
Well, we had Takeem versus Forrest. We kind of talked about that.
We talked about. I'll move on to the next thing, which is Frank Warren is bringing back boxing back this Friday.
Right. That's a good thing. It seems like it's kind of like the Showtime cards where they're showing the up-and-coming fighters, and that's a good thing. I mean, it's good to have it on TV. It's good to get these guys working. Just wasn't sure about the venue and how many people are going to let in. Do you have any knowledge of that?
I don't think there's only going to be like probably 20 people there. The officials,
Okay.
the trainers, and stuff like that. There won't be anybody in the arena at all, really.
But it's been good. Like Top Rank has been doing this. They've been putting on some good shows.
It doesn't look right though with the closed doors, but I'd rather see that than no box.
I think it's good. I think it's going to keep boxing alive. It's good for these young fighters to get out there.
The problem is, right, a lot of the big bills, I mean, I've been watching fights, but I'm waiting for like the Povetkin fight and all that lot and all the bigger fights to come,
Well, see, that's the thing that the promoters are waiting for, because they want to be able to fill the stadium as well as have the pay-per-view thing.
Yeah.
They make that money too, and they don't want to give that up. So they've been holding out, thinking, oh, the virus will die down, and now we're getting virus fatigue in the US, where people are getting fed up with the virus and they want to go out to the beach and they want to go here and there. And then the infection rates are going up. And I know they're starting to go down in the UK. So they're kind of waiting and waiting
we have
to see.
We have to heed with it a little bit. We just need to have a few more months of this behind closed doors, like Matchroom is doing it in the Garden of Matchroom, doing it in the Matchroom headquarters. We need to keep doing what we're doing. Boxing is on life support at the minute. That's all it's on.
Well, they're trying to follow also the UFC,
The UFC are not doing things the right way, in my opinion. You've got to do it.
I agree. I agree.
But anyway, this card, there is a guy on it called David Adeli. He's a former British amateur. He's 23 years old, black heavyweight, good fighter by the looks of it. I think they're building him up to be the next Dubois.
I read about him, yeah. Well, time will tell. You're talking about Adele, right?
Yeah.
Well, he's only 1-0, so we'll have to see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah, now hopefully we'll be able to see these on YouTube when they're done.
I will transfer them through on Friday.
Cool, thank you.
Right. Let me see what else is there.
Derevyanchenko receives offers from Canelo and Jermell Charlo. What do you think about that?
I think it's good. Spencer's just coming, I think.
Good. Get him in here.
Hello, mate.
There he is.
Can you hear us? His audio's disconnecting, so. Hello, Spencer.
What's going on?
Are you right?
Spencer.
So I wanted to get your opinion on Billy Joe Saunders not confirming that the Alvarez fight isn't going to happen and that he's more interested in Andre.
I thought he was supposed to be retiring.
I have no idea what he's doing. I have no idea. Can't keep up with.
There's a trainer in a group of mine that's in the UK saying that he's seen Billy Joe Saunders recently and that he's like really out of shape, so he wouldn't have been able to get in shape for Canelo in September anyway.
Okay. Tom, can you take over hosting duties for 5 minutes while I go and unlock some gates while I'm at work and go through some of the stuff
I'd
we've
love
already
to talk to Spencer. All right. So, well, it doesn't surprise. Hey, first of all, how you doing, Spencer? Everything cool?
Yeah, everything is cool. What did y'all discuss so far? Just the first topic?
Well, no, we went through Hunter, and then Luke Campbell versus Ryan Garcia for the WBC or the WBO with the fighter from Ghana, Tagau, and Loma versus. Where do you want to start?
I was going to say with the Ryan, I heard that he accepted the Luke Campbell fight.
I heard that they were trying to get him to work with Tagau. That would be an easier fight for him. And Campbell is too much for him. Tagau is an easier fight.
No, it's true. It's an easier fight, but I think I'm like with the WBO, he would become Lomachenko's mandatory to become a
Correct.
holder if he beats Tagau. If he beats Campbell, he could face Haney. Those two are possible. He could possibly win those two easier than trying to beat Lomachenko, basically, is what I'm saying. Because he got to beat Lomachenko to actually have the belt. If he beats Luke Campbell, he'll have like the interim title or something.
Right.
But I
Well,
really thought that he accepted the Luke Campbell. Like he said that he's going to take the Luke Campbell fight.
well, let me see, because that's not what I read recently. Let's see what it says. Well, WBC orders Garcia versus Campbell, but also the WBO. And it says 4 days ago they were going to talk about the fight, Golden Boy. But let's see what, and then 3 days ago they ordered it to face Devin Haney, the winner. But the WBO fight is still there, so I'm not sure about it. If it's not signed right now.
No, but I think let me see something, because I thought I seen it on Facebook that they let me look. Hold on, because I think I seen it, like I said, on Facebook, saying that he was accepting the other fight.
Well, it's going to be up to Golden Boy, really. Here, Luke Campbell official. Let's see if Luke Campbell has anything.
Yeah, I'm reading it saying Ryan Garcia has now accepted the Luke Campbell fight, which has been ordered by the WBC for the interim belt and as a final eliminator. He also had the option to face Tagal, but he's facing Luke Campbell, and the negotiations are starting now.
Right now, how many days ago was that?
That was 3 hours ago.
3 hours, good. Well, we'll see how the negotiations go. You know what's going to happen there, Golden Boy, and they're going to ask for this, that, and the other thing. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because Ryan, I think he kind of little upset. He might be getting more to face Luke Campbell than he would to face Tagal. Because of the name recognition.
Right.
The crowd. Like, especially if it's going to fight in the UK. No, he can't fight because the US can't go over there. People
no, he's
from the US can't go over there.
He's going to have to come over here.
Yeah.
But it's a better fight than Tagal. Tagal is slower. Tagal is not as good of a fighter as Campbell, in my opinion anyway. Have you seen Tagal fight?
I think I might have, but this is the funny thing. When Comey was the champ, right, because they both from the same country, Comey and Tagal, I was saying that Comey should, before he faces Tio, because he probably will lose to Tio, should defend the belt against Tagal at home in Ghana to have like a hometown fight against the two guys from there, you know, Tagal and Comey. That would have been a good thing for them, but they didn't do it. But yeah, Tagal is, I mean, yeah, he's a slower Comey.
Exactly. He's durable. He throws good combinations, but he's slower. I watched his last fight, and the guy he fought was 39 years old and was a good boxer, but he just couldn't put up with the output that was coming at him. So I think, I mean, if he's willing to face Campbell, if he has enough confidence, then that should be a good fight.
I wonder who they're going to have Tagal fight now. I got to look at the WBO rankings since he dropped it. What's that, 135? I don't know. Would Herring come up to move to, you know?
We've got about 38 minutes left, I think.
He won't drop a belt to become mandatory.
Right.
Well,
I like that fight. And Nathan, if you could hear us, it was verified by Spencer that Campbell and Garcia are in agreement to fight. They're doing negotiations now. Did you hear that? Maybe he did. Maybe he popped in and popped out.
Yeah, he didn't hear that. He's in between gates.
Got it.
But yeah, and Michael Hunter, I see that his contract ran out. I wonder why. I mean, I guess the money's running low and Eddie Hearn can't keep everybody on.
True. But I think he's also being, isn't his manager Premier Al Heyman?
Who, Michael Hunter?
Yeah.
I mean, he he wasn't fighting off of those cards. He fought on the Matchroom card, the last one, when he
Right.
fought Kuzman, I mean Povetkin. Then he
Right.
fought the Kuzman before that.
Right.
Um, so those are Matchroom cards, and before that, who was he with? I think he might have been with somebody like a Star Boxing or one of those type of. Maybe he was with the Bella. Maybe he was with the Bella.
Well, in the article that I read doing the research for this, there's talk about him going over to Premier. Now, if you think about that, one of the Premier guys just lost, what's his name, the Polish fighter, to the tall guy from Finland. The
Yeah,
tall,
Hellenius,
right,
Kalnaki lost to Hellenius.
Kalnaki. So he kind of, he could get in there
He could
and,
get in. He could fight Charles Martin. He could get a fight against Charles Martin. He could fight Areola, maybe.
hmm,
There's a couple of heavyweights that he could fight that's not like the top guy that'll keep him busy.
yeah.
You know,
And he's getting better too. So he'll,
he could fight those dudes like Brazil and Gerald Washington. He could fight a few of those guys.
yeah.
I mean, I think he beats all of those guys that I'm mentioning,
Well,
but it'll
that's
be like good names to have on his resume.
exactly. And plus, it'll be good entertainment for Premier.
Hmm.
So that kind of makes sense in that regard because he's not really going anywhere since Povetkin, right?
Right.
And
Well. To be fair, a lot of things been put on pause, and I think with the zone talking about them having like a little bit of financial issues or whatever the case is,
mhm.
they might not pick up certain fighters. They might not keep contracts with certain fighters. And being that Michael Hunter isn't a champ and he's not about to fight for a title, they we could probably let him go. They'll keep maybe Andrade for another fight or two because he's got a belt. Those guys because they got belts. Obviously, Triple G and Canelo are and AJ are their guys.
Yeah, they're golden gooses. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. That makes total sense. Did you want to talk about? Did we talk about Saunders already? We did, right?
I mean, I thought he was retiring. I seen the article about him willing to fight Andrade. I don't. Oh man, that's going to be a boring, corny looking fight. I mean, it's a. You got to be a real true boxing fan to really appreciate a fight that will be like that because it's going to be like a chess match, so to speak, and it's not going to be like a war.
Right. Well, in my opinion, and you can let me know how you feel about this. I think if he really felt he could beat Canelo, he would have been staying in shape because he knew months ago that this fight would come up. And then he's talking about not getting enough money. I mean, what is he making, like $4 million? That's the
Listen,
most money he's ever made. If he really felt he could beat him, why not fight him?
listen. People try to apply the same logic that when Wilder turned down the offer from Eddie Hearn, like they were saying, well, Wilder, that was the most he ever made. He didn't make that much, but we were talking about a much bigger fight. Wilder and AJ was like the biggest fight in boxing, so you
Right.
know, he could press for a little bit more. Canelo could be like, don't really. You're not that famous stateside, Billy Joe. So I don't know, like, what type of demands can you set forth to Canelo? Like, you could maybe ask for a little bit more, but to like stand firm and act like you calling shots is kind of funny from his position.
Really. And he did this with GGG, remember?
Yeah, listen. He did it with GGG. He did it with well, the Canelo thing, I mean, the Andrade thing before he had the failed thing, and that's the reason why Andrade wound up getting the belt. But he was supposed to fight Andrade, and then they had the nasal spray, dirty urine stuff. So that fight never went through. Um, so yeah, like he looked his best fight to me was against Lemieux, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was the
Right.
best I've seen him look was against Lemieux. Even against with the Chris Eubank and the Andy Lee fights, he was winning. He won those fights, but they got back into those fights. He wasn't like in the Eubank fight. Eubank came off in the second half of that fight and kept it kind of close towards the end. Andy
Right.
Lee, I think, with the same thing.
Yeah, he didn't dominate them.
Right, and the only one that he was a clear like one looked like he won all 12 rounds was the Lemieux fight, and Lemieux isn't really, I don't really rate him that great.
No, but if I think it's a psychological thing with them. Like Wilder's case was different. Wilder deserved more money, period. They didn't want to fight Wilder. That's why that happened, in my opinion, because Wilder was too dangerous to AJ. So it was a way to get out of it. But this guy here, I just don't know what he's going to wind up doing with his career. He's not going to make that kind of money. So,
Right, because I said, even with the Wilder situation, Wilder was able to fight Fury and get what they offered him fighting Fury. So he didn't really. He had he had another fight to get that type of money from.
mhm.
Billy Joe, there's not really anybody in and around that weight division that could get him that amount of money. He's not going to fight Callum Smith right now, because if that was the case, they would have fought already. And a Eubank rematch won't get him nowhere near as much money as the Canelo fight.
No, I
And
think he's
Canelo
shot.
ain't even on, and Canelo ain't even really on pay per view. He's on the zone, he's on the app, so you can't really think that there's a lot of money floating out there because it's still a app fight.
Got it. Hey, changing the subject, what do you think about Loma versus Lopez?
At first, it's a toss up because this is the longest Loma has ever been off.
Right.
But Loma needs this time off
Exactly.
because he's never had this time off before, so he needs this time off. T.O. is kind of young, so he might have need to be in the gym and staying more active. So this time off might hurt T.O. and help Loma heal all of the injuries. Now, if they're at their very best, then I would expect Lomachenko to win. T.O.'s a bigger guy. He hits harder. He hits harder than the guys that Lomachenko has been facing, I think. I think he might pack a harder punch than Jorge and Luke. So, and those to me seem like the hardest punching guys that Loma faced so far.
Nathan and I had similar opinion to that. That Loma should win if he's at the top of his game because he has more experience and he's a better boxer and mover. Lopez can really bang, but he's young. So yeah, we're pretty much there.
Right, and if there's no rehydration limit, Tio might come in there like 10 to 12 pounds heavier than Lomachenko.
Yeah, that's something to consider as well. We'll see.
Yeah, that's
Who
gonna
you
be a
pick?
great fight.
Oh, yeah.
I'm rooting for Tio because he's from Brooklyn, so I'm gonna root for the guy from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But I think Lomachenko's gonna win that.
Good. What about Takeem against Forrest? I was saying that Forrest should win a decision.
You know what? I was saying it at first, like this is probably something to get Takam an easy win, because when I was looking at Forrest, I was like, wait, this guy lost to Franklin. But then I remembered the fight. Franklin didn't look impressive in that fight, and Franklin was supposed to be one of the like up and coming U.S. heavyweight prospects, and he didn't look that good.
Mm-hmm.
Then I looked down his record, Forrest's record, and I was like, he only lost to Hunter and Gerald Washington early in his career, when they was both undefeated guys coming up, and he lost to them by decision, so he never got stopped. So I'm like, I don't know, this is not a cakewalk for Takam. At first, I thought it might have been, but because Takam has the experience of fighting Povetkin, fighting Parker, AJ, those guys, Chisora. He's been in there with a few of the top dogs.
Yeah. But Forrest moves well, and Takam doesn't do well with guys that move well. And also, Takam is very muscular heavy.
Yeah, and he's
Heavy,
getting
heavy.
older.
Yeah, there's that too. I give an edge to Forrest in this, but Takam is strong, and if he catches him, that we'll see what happens. But I'm going
Yeah,
with Forrest.
that's a good sleeper pick. I like that because I had said that. I said, don't think that Takam is just gonna go walk through this guy.
No, you're
Because
not.
it's gonna be an interesting fight. And then they got another guy on that card named Big Baby. His nickname is Big Baby.
Another big baby.
Yeah, it's a heavyweight prospect on that card. Jared Anderson, I think his name is.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of big baby, because that's on the list here, let's just jump to that for a second. Big baby, and Nathan comes in with a big laugh. I think psychologically there's something wrong with this guy. What do you think?
I mean, I don't know, man. Listen. I don't know. Like, I can't. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to understand. Like, why is he saying something? Like, I can't roll with him or nothing like that. It's like you sounding stupid, but yeah, he's just crazy.
How can I put this in? I was going to use a racial slur, but I'm not going to. This guy's this motherfucker. Who the fuck?
Whoa!
What the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing? He's making people from Brooklyn like mugs, and people from Brooklyn and that part of the world are not mugs.
Well,
he's trying to get you riled up, Spencer. He's trying to get you riled up.
I know if anybody thinks that he represents the whole entire Brooklyn,
because he doesn't. I know
that's on them. So I don't understand how they would think that Brooklyn is represented wrong by him.
I mean, look, Mike Tyson, Shannon Brooks, these guys weren't mugs. This guy's a fucking mug. He's making a mockery of boxing. He's an embarrassment. I hate him for what he's done.
Check it out. Listen, there's a guy that's about to fight Dylan White that had 2 dirty urines back to back.
Vetkin's even worse. He's even worse.
That's in championship fights, and they still letting him fight on the card.
Well, I think he should be given a year's ban, and then he should be allowed to come back. What he needs to realise that his career is going down the drain. That's what's upsetting.
And remember, Povetkin was allowed to fight after the dirty urine. He still fought Duhaupas after the dirty urine. So the fight still went on. So he still got a championship fight after that. And was able to fight David Price and all those Christian Hammers and all those other title eliminator fights after he popped dirty. So
I have a comment here. And I was listening to Teddy Atlas the other day, and he was saying, what about the team behind this guy? Somebody had to know that he was pumping himself up. What about the team? Shouldn't they be responsible as well when the fighter is caught dirty? Somebody has to know what's going on. They know the guy that's coming in selling him supplements or whatever.
Yo, the gym, he ain't taking it himself. He too big to inject himself. He got to have somebody injecting it for him or taking it for him. Or maybe he is taking it himself, and that's why he keep getting caught, because he don't know how to take it properly. Maybe he don't know, because if his team knew, he wouldn't get caught.
Or that somebody on his team is stupid. It's, I don't know. It's a shame. But there are a lot of guys juicing, really.
You could see that there's a lot of guys juicing, but the thing is, his team, like, since we on his team probably isn't that efficient as far as like masking stuff and doing stuff. They just like take this. This is going to help the energy, but they're not realizing you got to get that out your system. They're not doing it in the way to not get caught. They're just doing it to maybe help their performance. And since they wasn't getting tested that much before, they didn't really care about it. And now, they being watched and all of this, so they getting tested.
He's on the radar. Yeah,
you're getting watched. You on ESPN and all of this other stuff. So you get these contracts. He was probably doing that, being able to fight on on the undercards of these other fights, and nobody's really caring about them. But then once you become main event guy, headliner, then they're going to check you.
Yeah, and it's going to be drama. It's going to be headlines and drama. So
And you gotta know that you're gonna get tested because the COVID stuff going on. You're gonna get tested for that anyway. So they're gonna check your.
they're going to draw blood either way. You're going to
Right,
find
they're
out.
gonna draw some blood from you. So
Really? Hey, change the subject. What do you think about Derevyanchenko versus Canelo or Charlo?
I wouldn't mind seeing either one of those fights. I think I would like to see him first versus Charlo.
Right.
I think he could beat Charlo.
Oh, okay. Well, he gave
Joe Son.
JGG a hard fight. No, we're talking about Derevyanchenko.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, he's very underrated. He does have decisions go against him, doesn't he? To be fair to him.
Yeah, like I think he beat Triple G. But
It was very close.
that would, but I'm not going to be like it's a robbery. But if I had to pick, I would have picked Sergey. But and he gave Jacobs a good ass fight.
Mm-hmm. He did.
Some people would say like he beat Jacobs. So
Well, he doesn't have as extensive of a professional resume as some of these guys have. I mean, how many professional fights has he had? About 18?
yeah, he's in the teens. He's
Yeah.
really small in the thing.
So-
Like a lot of these Eastern European dudes that's coming in here fighting, they getting their title shots in the teens.
Well, they have
Lipinets.
long amateur careers.
Yeah, like Sergey Lipinets is another one in the welterweight
Mhm.
in the junior welterweight division. Like when he fought Mikey, I think he had like 12 fights or 11 fights or something.
Right.
So so those those dudes that, like you said, they got good amateur backgrounds. They have long amateur backgrounds, so it's nothing. They're kind of ready to go to the next level once they turn pro. They're already at that next level fight. They don't have to fight the journeymans.
Like Lomachenko, but he fought for the title too soon against Salido. Salido was too slick for him.
And I mean, truth be told, like I said, if boxing is supposed to be fair, then I don't think Lomachenko should have got a title shot in the second fight, but second pro fight.
Right.
Because he didn't do anything as a pro to get that position to be a title champ. And it was for was it for a vacant belt or did Salido have the belt? Salido was overweight, so he had lost the belt. So
right.
Only Lomachenko could win the belt. But
Salido is the greatest dirty fighter in his generation.
There's a few.
Oh, he's
Bernard
beautiful
Hopkins.
at it, though.
Bernard Hopkins was another good one.
Oh God, yeah.
Right. Oh, beautiful, and Holyfield too.
Yeah, Holyfield. Mike Tyson too, a little bit.
Well, later on he was, with the elbows and whatnot.
And grabbing the arms and trying to break.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I remember those. Hey, would you like to talk about McKean versus Parker?
Yeah,
Have you
yes,
seen
I
McKean?
would. I think.
Now we're up to
any of
date.
you-
Let's go.
Have any of you seen Dempsey McKean fight before?
Yes, I have. I've watched him.
He's nothing good. He's not that good, is he? Really?
He's big.
Okay.
He punches strong. He punches wide, but he's very big and very strong. And he could give Parker. I think he would keep Parker at bay. Parker is, I don't think, as big as he is. What is Parker, 6'2"?
6'4".
6'4".
6'4". He's
And
massive.
McKean is 6'5", but he's a southpaw. Don't forget.
But McKean struggled with Jonathan Rice, and Jonathan Rice is not that good.
I think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be entertaining.
Parker will knock him out in 7 rounds. McKean is so green. I watched him when he fought Jonathan Rice. Jonathan Rice is a journeyman club fight. He was losing. He was losing most of the rounds. It's only because he knocked Rice out in the last minute, in the last second. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
And he didn't look that good.
That's right. I remember that fight. Yeah, you make a good
I think
point.
he could probably just about beat Lucas Brown. He's probably just a little bit better than Dave Allen. What do you think?
That's who he should fight, Lucas Brown.
Well, that fight was canceled between
never happened, no.
Parker and Brown. They were matched, weren't they? Parker and Brown, and that fell through. Right.
Listen, and it's so funny because remember Brown had the WBA title, right?
Uh-huh.
Parker wasn't the champ yet. Parker wanted to fight Brown.
Hmm.
Brown was like, get out of here, you ain't nobody. But but then he got his title stripped, and he lost his title and all of that because of the steroids. And then Parker became the champ. And then when Parker was the champ, Brown was like, yo, can I get a shot? Parker was like, nope, I'm fighting AJ.
That's right. I think that would have been a better fight if the referee would have let him fight inside, but that's history now.
But
Yeah.
Parker, they need to step his opposition up pretty, steadily. They're not doing it properly.
Well, not a lot of top guys want to fight him.
Listen, they did it leading up to the AJ. Leading up to him fighting AJ, they did do that. They had him fighting guys like Takam, Derenchenko. He fought Ruiz for the title.
And then beat
he
Huey
fought
Fury.
Huey Fury. He
Ruiz.
and those was all different style fighters. All those guys are different styles. They're not the same guy.
He went 12 rounds with Razvan Kajan. This guy's a genuine.
That was his homeboy, though. That was his friend. Yeah. They sparred together. He wasn't going to go all out and beat him up. That was his friend. And remember, that was the fight that Huey Fury bailed out on at the last minute, and they had to throw him in there as a replacement.
Yeah.
In like a week or 2 weeks' time.
So, I have to be honest, I find it debatable the way he beat Huey Fury. It was pretty sketchy. And when he beat Ruiz, all these big fights he won, they were very sketchy victories, weren't they?
They were close.
They were close fights. I don't know about sketchy.
And the fight with Dillian White was very close as well. All these fights were very close.
But he didn't win the Dillian White fight.
No, because he got knocked down. And then Joshua, like you say, he didn't get given the chance because the ref wouldn't let him fight.
Yeah, well, what that kind of makes my point, which is that he's dangerous. And so he's got to get the right money for the right fight at this point if he's going to fight, for the title again.
I seriously believe he would beat Dillian White in a rematch if they had a rematch now.
He should have beat him in the first fight.
Oh, I know, he should never lost to White.
One of those knockdowns wasn't really a knockdown, which kind of altered the scoring. So
it was a hometown decision, you could say. But I'm not going to go that far.
Well, you just did.
Well, don't put words into my mouth. Right.
Joshua Pulev?
Yeah. They're saying that this fight, the UK government have to clear it first. How
they're going to try to put that on pay-per-view over here?
Sorry?
I said, I wonder if they're going to try to put that on pay-per-view over
here.
here.
It will be pay-per-view. Every Joshua fight is always going to be pay-per-view.
For you guys, but I'm talking about for us. Every day they fight.
Probably not now.
I don't know, man. The Zone is claiming broke, and they're about to start doing pay-per-views. I figured their biggest star would be on pay-per-view.
So what's the point of doing this $9.99 or $19.95 if you've got payment? Like, defeats the object of the channel being around, doesn't it? It's only because it's COVID crap.
Slow down. I didn't quite get that. So what's your point?
Basically, what I said was that because of all this COVID crap, it's fucked everything up.
Well, yeah, of course. But what are you going to do about it? The problem is they won't let him in the country, right? Is that the problem where he has to do a 14-day isolation? Yeah. So why don't he come a little earlier and isolate in a gym, and train?
I don't know why they can't just do the fight in America, or in Europe or in Bulgaria. It'd be so much easier if they just did the fight in a neutral country.
Well, because Eddie Hearns wants to do this in his new setup. That's why. He wants to do it in the UK.
And AJ is the 3-belt holder. He could call the shots.
He should go
where he
go somewhere else. Go to Africa. Go anywhere than Britain.
Why?
But why? Those places ain't safer rather.
I'm surprised at you, Nathan. You're a Brit and you want to get this fight out of your country. What's going on?
Because to me, this is a fight. It's a good fight, but I think it's a fight that needs a crowd. every Anthony Joshua fight needs some sort of a crowd.
But wherever it is going to be at, there's going to be restrictions. You can't have the fight in Africa and they have a crowd.
Or just have a crowd of 100 people. You know, have a crowd of 100 or 200 people.
It's not. Go ahead, Spencer.
I'm going to say they loosening the restrictions in America. So they, you know, like you could socially distance and certain things. By the time that fight come about, certain other places might be opened up where they could like spread it out and have limited people. But what does 100 people in the crowd do though?
More than no people, you know.
I mean, but hey, AJ, like he could barely hear that amount of people. They got this thing on ESPN where you could call in to the thing while the fight is on, and you could clap and applause, and it goes over the loudspeakers in the thing.
Well, here's the clicker. It says in the article, should the transmission rate stay under 1 for the next 4 to 6 weeks, it's believed the UK government will consider stadiums hosting events at 30 to 50% capacity.
There you go. Have a third to halfway full.
So, Nathan, we got to make you responsible and make sure everybody, you know, continues to play by the rules over there. So this fight can
it's
happen.
not the pubs have opened in Britain and people are not playing by the rules. I've seen people out in the streets in where my friend lives in groups of 10 people. You know, we're fucked. But on that note,
make sure they got their mask on.
There you go. It's up to you, Nathan. Police that.
Right, guys. We've got 5 minutes left. I'm going to stop recording, but I want us to talk after this anyway. So
Okay.
we've got time to. Right. Thank you for coming on the show, everyone. So I'm going to stop recording now. We'll be back in about 8 or 9 days.